Michigan's new auto insurance law. Governor Whitmer signed historic bipartisan auto no-fault legislation to lower costs, maintain the highest coverage options in the country, and strengthen consumer protections. In this presentation, we will tell you about our department, talk about the key changes to auto insurance, and tell you how we can help you moving forward. First, some background about DIFS. We are fee-funded and do not require your tax dollars to operate. We regulate Michigan's insurance and financial industries, which include insurance agents, companies, mortgage companies, deferred presentment companies or payday lenders, state-chartered banks, and credit unions. Our guiding principles are that we are regulators, and that means we work for you as a consumer protection agency. In our day-to-day work, we work to foster economic opportunity for Michigan consumers, seek to provide fair access to institutions that are safe, sound, and entitled to public confidence, and we work to provide financial and insurance education to help people understand their options. Now that you know who we are, on to the changes with insurance. These are the big picture changes that the new no-fault law makes to the way auto insurance works in Michigan. First, you need to know that there are three basic parts to an auto insurance policy that are mandatory. Property protection insurance, we call that PPI, personal injury protection medical coverage, we call that PIP, and residual liability bodily injury and property damage, we call that BIPD. I'll only be speaking about how the new law affects the last two. Now, these key changes provide drivers with a choice on the level of medical coverage. It lowers costs while maintaining the highest benefits in the nation, and increases consumer protections. Now, it's important that you know that most of these changes only take effect for policies issued or renewed after July 1st of 2020. Now, remember that I had talked about the mandatory coverages, and remember that PIP medical coverage is one of those mandatory coverages, and it pays for medical care if policyholders are in an auto accident. Under the old law, everyone had to have unlimited PIP medical coverage. You didn't have a choice. Now you'll get to choose a level of personal injury protection which is right for you. The new available limits equal or exceed the highest benefits in the country, and Michigan is the only state where unlimited PIP medical continues to be an option. The PIP medical coverage levels available to Michigan drivers are unlimited coverage per person per accident, up to $500,000 in coverage per person per accident, up to $250,000 in coverage per person per accident, up to $50,000 in coverage per person per accident if the named insured is enrolled in Medicaid and their household members have qualifying health insurance or another Michigan policy. There's also a medical PIP opt-out, which may be available to you if you have Medicare Parts A and B and all the other members of your household have qualifying health insurance or another Michigan auto policy. It's important to know that if you don't make a choice, you will default to receiving unlimited PIP medical coverage and you will pay the premium associated with that option. Earlier I said that the new law would lower costs while maintaining benefits, and this is one of the most important ways of doing just that. Each insurance company will be required for the next 8 years to reduce statewide average PIP medical premiums. For the unlimited PIP option, it has to be an average of 10% reduction. For the $500,000 PIP option, it's an average 20% reduction. For the $250,000 PIP option, it's an average 35% reduction. And for the $50,000 PIP option, it's an average 45% reduction. Here are some additional ways that the new law reduces costs. For the first time, we will have a fee schedule. Unlike health insurance or Medicare, auto insurance did not have limitations on what a healthcare provider could charge for their services. A fee schedule is a required cost control measure between auto insurance companies and healthcare providers to make PIP medical more affordable for consumers. The law sets a schedule of fees that can be charged by providers for PIP medical care. This provision takes effect after July 1st of 2021, and it's important to note that you're not going to lose care. It just means your healthcare costs will be better controlled. Another important element of lowering costs is with the Michigan Catastrophic Claims Association assessment. Now that's the MCCA, and the MCCA is an association of auto insurers required by statute, and they reimburse member companies for PIP medical costs which exceed an identified amount, which is currently $580,000. The MCCA has already announced that as a direct result of the new law, it's lowering its per vehicle assessment starting July 2nd, 2020, and this will save Michigan drivers at least $120 per car. Drivers choosing less than unlimited PIP medical care will not pay any assessment to the MCCA going forward. One of the most important parts of the new law is that it increases consumer protections in the insurance market and helps us to make sure that the market is fair. The new law eliminates certain non-driving factors from rating. which prohibits insurance companies from using sex, marital status, home ownership, credit score, educational level, occupation, and zip code in setting your auto insurance rates. The new law also created the Fraud Investigation Unit, which is a new unit within DIFS which investigates criminal and fraudulent activity related to insurance and financial markets. It works with the Attorney General and other law enforcement agencies to prosecute these crimes. Auto insurance fraud drives up premiums for all drivers, so this is an important cost control and consumer protection means. The new law also requires prior approval. Auto insurance rates and policies must now be filed with and approved by DIFS before being offered to consumers. Finally, the new law increases fines and penalties, which allows for increased fines on insurance companies, agencies, and licensed agents for certain violations of the law. As I said before, you will need to choose a coverage level that is appropriate for you based on your needs and budget. Your auto insurance company or agent will give you forms that describe the benefits and risks of the coverage options. You may also want to talk with an auto insurance agent or company to discuss your personal auto insurance needs before making your choice. Now, when you go to make your PIP medical coverage choice, you may need information from your health insurer or employer identifying individuals covered on your health insurance, a statement as to whether your health policy complies with the law, which means it does not exclude or limit auto accident injuries and has an individual deductible of less than $6,000. And if you're a Medicare or Medicaid participant, you may also need proof of enrollment. Earlier I mentioned that there are 3 mandatory coverages to a Michigan auto insurance policy, and this is the second one I'm going to talk about today. Another choice you get to make is on your level of BI coverage. BI is the portion of a no-fault policy that will pay up to certain amounts if the policyholder is found legally responsible for certain damages. It pays for claims which are made against you. Currently, the minimum BI coverage level is $20,000 for a person who is hurt or killed in an accident, $40,000 for 2 or more persons in any one accident, and $10,000 for property damage in another state. The new law will now allow drivers the ability to choose bodily injury limits that best suit their family needs. The old $20,000 per person and $40,000 per accident limits had not been adjusted for inflation in over 30 years. Drivers will now have the choice of purchasing coverage of $50,000 per person and $100,000 per accident or higher to protect themselves against the increased potential for lawsuits. If you don't make a choice, the new default minimum is $250,000 per person per accident and $500,000 for 2 or more persons in any one accident. You should consider consulting legal and financial advisors to determine how to best protect your assets and income from this new scope of financial liability. Like with your PIP choice, your company or agent will give you a form to fill out. That covers the big changes from the law that we need to talk about here today. Now I want to take some time to tell you more about how DIFS can help you. Perhaps the most important thing I can tell you is that we want to hear from you. The DIFS call center is housed within our Office of Consumer Services, which also handles all complaints that come into our office. If you're concerned that your auto insurance company is unfairly delaying or denying your claim, charging you the wrong premium, or otherwise is not performing as required under the law, we're here to help. DIFS encourages you to attempt to resolve your complaint directly with your agent or auto insurance company. If your resolution cannot be reached, you may file a complaint in writing with DIFS via email or through our website. And speaking of websites, we created a new one to help educate consumers about the new law. The new website is www.michigan.gov/auto-insurance, and it includes a way to inform consumers on the auto insurance changes made by the new law, tips for shopping for insurance, information on how to file a complaint and what that complaint process looks like. It also includes what to do if you're having issues with your insurance company, agency, or agent, and a place to report insurance fraud. This website will be updated on an ongoing basis to provide the latest information to Michigan drivers as we get closer to July 1st of 2020. And for more information on making your PIP and BI choices, please see our webinars posted to that same website. To reiterate, we want to hear from you. We work for you and we are here to help you with these new changes. Again, it's important to note that in advance of your auto insurance renewal after July 1st of 2020, agents and insurance companies will supply forms that describe the benefits and risks of the coverage options which are available to you. You may also want to consult with your agent to discuss your personal auto insurance needs. Please call or email our office if you have any questions about the forms or anything else related to the new auto insurance law. The phone number is 833-ASK-DIFS. This concludes today's presentation. Again, if you have any questions, please call us at 833-ASK-DIFS or email us at autoinsurance@michigan.gov.